Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat. Welcome to another drawing stream. We continue on with our epic journey through Inktober 2025. And today's prompt is Inferno. So, yeah. Thankfully, it's going to be an easy one. We'll just start right at it. I guess we can just generally block out the flame. Broadly speaking, like there's this gap here, and then just gonna like a black. Kind of stops right, something like that. Something along those lines. Yeah. And we just need to continue this one, kind of like that, stuff like that. Fire is actually not that bad to draw or paint. I find it because it just it's shapes and there might be rules to the shapes, but they're also kind of like you're just kind of just making stuff up as you go, kind of thing. Make it really thin there. Kind of just digging into this and then digging more into it. And it can be a little bit, again, it probably does get a bit repetitive because you're using the same brush size, and ideally you would also probably do working with some sort of opacity brush. Get the different layers. The YouTuber Gamma Trap has a very good tutorial on fire. You could check that out, although that's colored and a little bit more, I don't know. We need to make this a little bit more angry and angular and it's funny because like when I did the when I did an early warm-up, just before stream, that it was the inverse of this, but That one turned out rather nice. And in an effort to beat this cough that I have, I'm gonna try the little magic potion. Basically, you take a red onion, you cut it into pieces, put it in boiling water, or put it in water, you heat it up until boiling, and then you take it off and you leave it to simmer for 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. And then you take it, you pour it out, and you sift it off. You separate the water from you separate the water from the onion. You pour it into, take the water, which now has this orange brownish color to it, and put it into a cup with some honey and olive oil. You mix and you drink it for a tea. And apparently that is the secret sauce. I wouldn't know, but let's try it. It doesn't taste too bad, but I'm not completely 110% sold on the whole. Let's make this that it is some sort of wonder, miraculous super cure. But we'll see. I bought 3 red onions, so it's entirely possible that maybe I'll have to do it once. And you could apparently also freeze the water to better so that you can use it even in this. So you can have a batch of them and then just take the you just take the ice cubes and you melt them in some lukewarm water, honey, olive oil. Boom. Insta win. Yeah, it might take a few cups before it sets in, but whatever. This is just too noisy, I feel. What else has happened? Remember that webtoon that I mentioned? Welcome to Rose Manor. Holy crap, chat. That is certified new peak. Which came in a nick of time too, because like I think that my currently peak story, The Spark in Your Eyes, is coming to a close. They dropped a new chapter today, and I'm a little bit miffed that I didn't call what we've seen up to now. This is too repetitive. Because obviously it's not going to spoil it, but I could based on how they were setting things up, or now what seems to be the final home stretch. This has got all right, yeah, I can see what I can see what they're going for, and it's a little bit, yeah, I don't know, it's a bit rewarding to get confirmation, I guess, that you go oh yeah, you were right on the money, yeah, look at me go. It's a bit always fun as a fan, oh yeah, look at me. That you can somewhat predict it. Although it is a bit of a double-edged sword, because if it becomes too predictable, then you're gonna go no, this is. I don't like this shape at all. Maybe we should just have a. Yeah, because we have this big. Obviously, that's a plank thing that is licking on. And it's fire, which is very open for interpretation, obviously. But yeah, you could probably make it bigger out here and cut into it to make something interesting about it, like that. Because it seems to have this tilt to it. It does have that bend to it. So I should probably also better communicate that angle that angle. Cool. You can make shapes that sort of point direction out, painting in that direction. This is too round. Anyway, yeah, because I could sort of see it, see how things were panning out, and it was kind of nice to have that confirmation. For sparks in your eyes, but excuse me. Welcome to Rose Manor. It is so refreshing to see somebody who we're just gonna do that has all that Victorian era aesthetic that you see in so many isekai regressor. Oh no, I died and respawned into my favorite novel, or some dating sim game, or whatever, and a magical academy and the whole 9 yards. As fine as that is, because guilty pleasure of mine, it's still pretty bad. The market is oversaturated with it. So you want to, and variety is the spice of life, as I often say. So yeah, you gotta have some variety to it. And adding variety to my, and it's so refreshing to go like, yeah, we have that look, we have that aesthetic with butlers and maids and a giant manor, but this isn't isekai. The protagonist isn't your modern day Korean office lady that fell down the stairs or whatever. No, she is a resident of this world. This is a different world, but like we're ditching the whole isekai thing. Right? And on top of that, you know, it's a horror mystery. And I don't know when was the last time, you know, because horror, and makes it, you know, that's the double whammy, because a lot of isekais go like, oh yeah, you either have a cheat skill like unlimited mana or whatever, or you have some sort of or you're given trash skills, but the trash skills actually prove to be ridiculously overpowered because people, for whatever reason, never bothered to figure out that, you know, hey, paralyze and poison is a killer combo. And then you have others who and then, you know, like, what was the third variation? Well, the third variation is just go like, well, it is a gamified system, and I was a gamer when I was in modern day Korea or Japan or whatever, and then I go like, I know I can figure out the logic behind this and crack the code and go for an optimal build. But here it's like, no, there are no pop-up screens, there are no screens, there are no quests, there are no stat screens, or crappy inventory and anything. It's horror, and horror is all about depowering the protagonist, because like there's a monster or multiple monsters or whatever. The threat, you know, the power balance is the opposite. It's the monster or the threat or whatever it is. That's the one that's holding nearly all the cards, and you're walking around armed with a toothpick and 2% stamina. It's that helplessness you have depowering, which is probably why I like Fatal Frame or Project Zero. That's like so revered as horror games, because like you're, at least in the first two, you're a teenage girl in the first two. You're a grown woman in the third one. But I never played this. Well, I did play the third one, but I didn't get far in it, and I got stuck on the second one. No, not Fatal. It's Fatal Frame, but it's Crimson Butterfly. Yeah. And on top of Rose Manor, welcome to Rose Manor. On top of that, it has rules in it. Like, it's not an isekai, not an overpowered protagonist. It's a horror mystery. It really just grabs you and hooks its narrative teeth into it, bangs or hook, and just drags you in along for the ride. I couldn't put it down. Like, god dang, it's been a long time since I been that engrossed in new stories, because more often than not I'm kind of like, whatever, but like it's the kite slop, or but sometimes I go like, yeah, I'll stick with you because, you know, the art is good or whatever. But more often than not, you kind of fizzle out and you kind of just slide it through. But here, go like, no, I'm paying attention to it. But it has rules. It kind of reminded me low-key about Death Note. Death Note had like 13 rules or something. This one had, I also was like, yeah, 12 rules. Rules are great, chat. They are. They're really, really great about it. Because the great thing about rules when it comes to fiction is go like, it makes it very easy to create conflict. They go like, oh yeah, you wanna do the thing. Well, you can't do the thing because you want to do the thing. Well, you can't do the thing because the rule said so. Which is, you know, and it's like trying to solve the problem at hand, whatever that may be, within the confines of the rules. And sometimes, you know, don't necessarily have to spell out the rules as they did in this thing or as they did in Death Note. But the rules could, you know, because honestly, it was quite the exposition dump when our protagonist found the instruction manual, as it were. That was quite the, I was like, all right, yeah. But oddly enough, I don't know. I don't mind. I didn't mind, which is rare, because normally you would think like, oh no, exposition dumps, that's bad. Like you shouldn't just. But it can be done in an engaging and interesting way. Death Note is a famous example of this. When early on, when Light kills the guy that was an imposter for posing as L, the master detective, on live TV. Shortly afterwards, there's like 400 words of exposition just dumped into it, but like it doesn't feel like exposition. And that's incredibly difficult to pull off. Just can't. The only, and it's kind of weird because like when I look at it, it's like there are no. Well, there might have been now, but no, there are like no comments on it. I have no idea. And it has, and of course, chapter 18 dropped a couple of some hours ago, 14 hours ago. Haven't read it yet. I just plowed through this first 17 chapters because like this stuff is fire. This is peak. This is awesome. I would love very much to have a second serving. And yeah, it's so if you get a chance, chat, I cannot recommend it enough. Welcome to Rose Manor. I was so engaged, like I really want to, because normally when I find something that's really good, especially when it's like a webtoon, I hop over to Tapas and webtoon. They're my poisons of choice, and I go like, do they have it? And as far as I could tell, they didn't have it on either of those platforms. So yeah. At least for some reason, I'm not fond of buying webtoon coins, but Tapas Ink for some reason just hits different. I think it's because webtoon is more generous with freebies than Tapas, at least with the series that I read. So that might have something to do with it. again, there isn't really much of it. I suppose we could try to push this. Make this gap a bit more obvious, I suppose. And new season of Glass Cannon is coming out as well, where they're abandoning, not necessarily abandoning, but they're shifting gears from Pathfinder 2nd Edition to, what is it, Shadow Dark? Because apparently they weren't, I'm not sure if it was the system or if it was the adventure path. I suspect it's the adventure path that wasn't very vibing with it, and they might have been better if they had chosen a different adventure path. But in the process, like watching Session 0, I noticed that they go like, oh yeah, they, and one of their ad breaks, they were going with a new season of Delta Green, and go like, oh, maybe I should check that out. But I don't think that one is going to be free, because some of their Delta Green stuff is Patreon exclusive, so I could, of course, wait until it is finished, and then just sign off with Patreon, download everything, and sign off Patreon. It's a bit of a, in and out kind of thing, but we'll see. It's a bit scummy, but it's a valid tactic. Or I can just wait until my my job and financial situation stabilizes a little bit, and I go like, yeah. I don't mind subscribing, but if I'm going to subscribe to something, it needs to be something that I use enough to warrant the continuous expenditure. Yeah, let's go. I mean, it kind of works. Like, again, there isn't really much of a correct answer to make fire. Like, it has all of these shapes, and big and medium and small, and don't be boring, and don't be too repetitive, stuff like that. But by and large, this is, kind of it for the, like, it looks a little bit dull and bland because it's black and white, but what can you do? But that's also that is also important, chat, to be able to look at a reference and go like, to just get the idea of it, and not necessarily a carbon copy of like all the swirly swirls and flakes here. Just get the idea of it. Because of course that is something that I struggle with, because go like, yeah, my brain goes into carbon copy mode. Go like, no, you have to make it absolutely perfect and correct. So that way, the exercise is kind of good. Nice. It's also very, like, I can tweak and polish it, but then again, chat, what are we really doing? What are we here for, chat? Are we just here to tweak indefinitely? Actually, this one is kind of lower. Another welcome surprise is one of the art YouTubers that I semi-follow, question mark, is released an art book, an art in, which was kind of like the greatest hits of various exercises, like 25 exercises. So kind of like But I really like it as like, no, you're not supposed to like work your way through this entire thing. You're supposed to like try to draw something, sign a project, and then find out what is it that you're struggling with, and find the exercise that best remedies the struggle, and then do that exercise for a while, and then do another project. So yeah. It looked pretty solid. There were some typos here and there, but again, it was free, so grabbed it. But yeah, what I struggle with some of the like more advanced things, like or intermediate advanced things, especially like putting it all together towards one cohesive finished product. Boxes is all good and dandy, but like, okay, what am I supposed to do with these boxes? Like, I want to using boxes not as an end in and of itself, but using the boxes as a means towards an end. Because holy crap, I'm sick and tired of drawing. Yeah, and that is creating a process in which will take you from blank canvas to finished product. Hopefully, something that I did fiddle around with that a little bit before I started streaming, but it's going to be interesting to see how much we're going to get back to that when we're done with Inktober. Sexy Sundays is just going to be ordinary human beings, male and female. And then, what was it, Tutorial Tuesday? Yeah. And Furry Friday. Furries is just basically just an excuse for me to just try more stylized, cartoonified stuff to just help me, which I think will help me push the forms and the expressions, the pose, the gesture, the whole 9 yards. I think that could help. Yeah. Also following the tutorials, but not just following them, but also sort of like implementing something that I was like that some of my own stuff into the tutorial, so that I don't collect, so we don't we're not just following the tutorial. We have to treat it like a project. Like, no, it needs to end up as a finished product, something that transcends, something that goes beyond just the example in the tutorial. We do the tutorial, but we also need to apply it towards a finished product. Because by doing projects, you have to, excuse me, apply multiple skills. That's just how it goes. Mm-hmm. And I'm out of my super onion tea. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm thinking we're gonna need to refill. One moment. Thank God I didn't have a webcam, because I pulled a Hassan Piker. He would just be looking at my chair. I don't know if it works as well when it's kind of like, it's not warm and I was kind of like room temperature. I don't know. Even though I was fairly generous with the honey this time around. We'll see. Right. Where were we, chat? Where were we? I'm back in my chair. Skeptical. Also, I don't know. Why would you want to need to put... Is it the oil? The olive oil? I don't know. Like, makes it greasy. I don't know. Yeah, because like it's all floating at the on top. Because like, oh, it's surprising because it's oil and water. You know, so they're separating. They don't mix. So, but 3-month free Adobe Creative Cloud. Came with the monitor that I bought a while back. Jokes on them, I don't think they're gonna have a Creative Cloud on Linux, so yay. Anyway, this one is kind of wrapping it up because, like, it's just tweaking it, really. I suspect that this one would be a rather quick and short study because 2 values and only this. Like, if we did the whole color mumbo jumbo, then yeah. Maximum compression. Yeah. Welcome to Rose Mansion or Manor. It's so it's so good. So good, chat. Fire wallpaper. Okay, that's not necessarily how I would have described it, but you do you. You do you, Pixabay. Oh. Yeah, that one was... This is the 25th, right? Yeah, Saturday the 25th. InkTober 2025. Where is it? We gotta give credit where... Gotta give credit where credit is due. Come on. Wait, it's actually... Pixabay. Oh, that is... okay. Oh, stock photo, right? Oh well, we will put that. And... we'll also put that here. Boom. Well, we're getting some engagement, chat. Some likes here and there, but it's never really been about the likes. It's a nice bonus, a welcome one at that, but it is what it is. Right. I should probably review. We're gonna be playing the Witcher board game. I should probably review the rules. And tomorrow's stream will be at 6 p.m. Yeah. So, thanks so much for stopping by. Keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.